What causes panic disorder? Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. It's so good to have you here. If you've ever been chilling one moment and then suddenly feel like your heart is going to pound out of your chest, your breath gets short, your hands are sweating, and your brain is screaming, something's wrong, that might have been a panic attack. And if that kind of thing happens more than once, it could be something called panic disorder. Today, we're going to break down the real reasons panic disorder happens. Like, why do these attacks seem to come out of nowhere? What's going on in our brains and bodies when this stuff hits? And no, it's not all in your head. So stay tuned, because this might help you understand yourself or someone you love a lot better. All right, so let's start by clearing up what we mean when we say panic disorder. It's not just being nervous before a big test or feeling anxious before public speaking. Those are normal stress responses. Panic disorder is when you have sudden, overwhelming panic attacks, and they're not tied to any specific danger. They seem to just happen. But here's the kicker. People with panic disorder don't just worry about the attacks. They start to fear the next one happening. That fear becomes so intense, they might start avoiding places, people, or even simple tasks like going for a walk or riding the subway. The fear of fear becomes part of their everyday life, and it can feel totally exhausting. So, what causes this whole mess? It's tempting to look for one single reason, but honestly, there's no one-size-fits-all answer. Panic disorder usually happens because of multiple overlapping factors, like genetics, brain chemistry, personal experiences, and even how your body reacts to stress. Think of it less like a light switch, and more like a bunch of puzzle pieces clicking together. Let's break down those pieces. Let's talk about family for a second. If someone in your family, your parents, your siblings, even grandparents, has struggled with anxiety or panic attacks, that might not be a coincidence. Genetics can absolutely play a role. In fact, research shows that panic disorder can run in families, which means there may be a biological component passed down. But just because your mom had panic attacks doesn't mean you will. Genes can make you more likely to develop panic disorder, but they don't guarantee it. They just set the stage, and life circumstances tend to write the rest of the script. Next up, your brain's chemical balance. Neurotransmitters like serotonin, dopamine, GABA, and norepinephrine help your brain regulate mood, stress, and how you respond to fear. If these chemicals are out of whack, your brain might interpret totally harmless situations as threats. It's kind of like your brain has a smoke detector that keeps going off even when there's no fire. For people with panic disorder, their internal alarm system is hypersensitive. Something as small as a weird bodily sensation or a stressful thought can trigger a full-blown panic attack because the brain just doesn't know how to differentiate between actual emergency and false alarm. Now let's talk life events. We all deal with stress. But for some, a big life change or traumatic event can trigger panic attacks that spiral into a disorder. Maybe it was a breakup, the loss of a loved one, financial issues, or recovering from a major illness. Your body goes into high alert mode to get through it, and sometimes it stays there. Interestingly, panic disorder often shows up after the stressful situation is over, like your mind and body hold it together through the crisis. But once things calm down, it all crashes. Your system is fried, and the panic attacks come rolling in unexpectedly. Here's one that people often overlook. Our childhood. If you grew up in an environment where you constantly felt unsafe, were criticized a lot, or had unpredictable caregivers, your nervous system learned to stay on guard. That early wiring doesn't just disappear when you grow up. It sticks with you. So later in life, your brain might be reacting to mild stress the same way it used to react to real danger as a child. You could be in a totally safe situation, but your body still launches into fight or flight mode. It's not your fault. Your nervous system was trained that way early on. Some people are just more sensitive to their own physical sensations. That's called interoceptive sensitivity, and it means you're super aware of changes in your body, like your heartbeat speeding up, your breathing shifting, or your temperature rising. If you're highly sensitive, even a normal change, like feeling warm in a crowded room, can feel scary. What happens next? You notice the sensation, you interpret it as a threat. Oh no, am I getting sick? Is this a panic attack? And that thought alone can cause panic. It's a vicious cycle. The fear, the sensation causes more of it, and your body responds with even more panic. Your mind and body are caught in a feedback loop. Here's something wild. A single panic attack can sometimes set off the entire pattern of panic disorder. Imagine you have one panic attack while out shopping. It's terrifying. You feel totally out of control. You survive it, but now you're scared it'll happen again. So you start avoiding the place where it happened. Maybe you stop going to crowded places altogether. Before long, you're avoiding more and more situations, not because they're dangerous, but because you fear you'll panic. That fear becomes a trigger. You start panicking about panic itself. This is the root of panic disorder. It feeds on the fear of itself. So now we've looked at all these causes: genetics, brain chemistry, trauma, stress, sensitivity, and fear. And the truth is, panic disorder is rarely caused by just one of these things. It's usually a mix. And that's why it can be so hard to pinpoint where it starts. But also, why it's so important to approach it with compassion. Panic disorder isn't a character flaw. It's not a weakness or failure. It's a real condition caused by real, understandable things. And the good news? There are real, effective treatments that help you take back control of your mind and body. You absolutely can get better. Therapy, especially cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, can help rewire your thoughts and reduce your body's over-the-top responses. Medication can help calm an overactive nervous system. And self-care habits, like better sleep, less caffeine, breathing exercises, and movement, can do wonders. You don't have to live in constant fear. With the right tools, support, and time, you can calm your nervous system, break the cycle, and live a life that feels safe and free again. I've seen it happen. You can get there, too. All right, friends, that's it for today's video. I really hope this helped you understand where panic disorder comes from and gave you some clarity if you or someone you care about is going through this. If you learned something new today or just appreciated the real talk, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. Join our little community here at Zacaprat, where we break down mental health topics in a way that actually makes sense and feels human. Don't forget to tap the bell icon so you're the first to know when the next video drops. I've got some super practical tips coming your way, like how to stop a panic attack in 5 minutes. So you don't want to miss that. Thanks for watching, for being curious, and for taking your mental health seriously.